What is going on, everybody? We're back for another edition of the Double Switch Podcast, an All-Star edition. We're in the middle of the All-Star break here. You'd think we would have nothing to talk about, but a lot of Phillies news, actually. We had the draft this past weekend. We got to see the Phillies sweep the Marlins going into the break. And, we had Schwarber yesterday put up an absolute clunker in the home run derby. And just last night, National League lost their 10th in a row in the All-Star game. Some insane number. Plenty of stuff to talk about. Johnny, how you doing, man? You staying cool in this brutal heat wave we have here in New Jersey?
Yeah, no, I work inside, so I have air conditioning every day. I hope everyone else is staying alive out there. But how about that sweep going into the break? That was pretty surprising.
Wasn't expected either. It felt like such a trap, Phils lose 4 in a row, going down to Miami. Need to win a couple of games. We've heard this before. We've heard this story plenty of times. What happens, what usually happens, win 1 out of 3, get swept by the Marlins. Everybody's questioning their entire existence, but not this time. Not this team, not this time. Phils are different, man, dude. This is a different Phils team.
I like to think that too. Yeah, no, I definitely was. I was very pessimistic when I saw the probable starters when it was like Sandy, Max Meyer, and then I think it was Pablo, right?
Trevor Rogers. Pablo got scratched.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch that last one, but either way, those first two, I was nervous. But the Phils, man, whenever you think they're down and out, they just they bounce back this year.
Yeah, so last time we talked, times were a little different. Phils were on somewhat of a streak. I think we could have called it that. Then we went to Toronto. And what do you attribute those two really, really, really lame losses in Toronto to? Do you think it was just because we were missing some pieces? Is that just what we're going to chalk that up as?
I still think we should have played better ball. I mean, we weren't missing that many pieces. It did cross my mind that maybe not having JT behind the plate, maybe he's a better pitch caller than we give him credit for. Possibly. What do you think?
I think it hurt Wheeler a little bit. I think Wheeler's very used to pitching to JT, so I think we could probably blame that on the Wheeler bad start. And, I mean, as for the bullpen game, you can only have so many bullpen games in a row before just, like, it's not going to work every time. And that Blue Jays team, they're not as good as they were last year, but there's still some serious bats in that lineup. Vladdy, Teoscar, Bo Bichette. They got some pieces. So it's a tough matchup for a team that's working with about, I don't even know what that was, 60% of what we are capable of, what we have, missing – oh man, like four ninths of our lineup, something like that.
Yeah.
It was not a good situation. And I'm just gonna put it in the back of my head and just forget about it. Move on.
I already forgot about it.
That's good. Did I just remind you of it?
Yeah, you did. No. There were two games.
Yeah. It's strange series anyway. I mean, who schedules 2-game series anyway? But Sandy on Friday, he's probably my pick for the Cy Young if I had a pick today. And he gave him a great start. Actually, before we even get into this Marlins series, I know you didn't watch too much of it, but, dude, they were throwing out a AAA lineup. Jorge Soler wasn't out there.
No Jazz.
No Jazz. I don't even know who they threw out there. So it's worth noting that team is it was bad even by Marlins standards. So with that being said, we beat Sandy on Friday. That was a game I expected to lose. All things being equal, I mean, coming off that losing streak facing the NL Cy Young winner. But, I mean, Gibby puts together a good start. I don't know. We won, so it doesn't make any sense, but we won. We got to Max Meyer early, hung a 10th spot on the Marlins, help out our run differential on the year a little bit, so that was big. It was really nice to see the lineup kind of click that day because it was quietly a very, very slow week for the offense. Not much going on ever since, the middle of that Cardinals series. So it was nice to see the offense kind of step up again. And then Nola on Sunday against this AAA Marlins team throws up another gem, lowers his ERA into the low threes. I think it's like 3.16 now. Putting together a really good season and going out on a really high note for a pitcher who we really need to depend on now more so than ever because the staff, as we'll get into later, has some issues. But yeah, strange weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly impressed how while our bats are a little bit depleted, how the rotation has really carried the load. I mean, they're keeping us in like every game right now, and that's been awesome. Because then you'd think once like Harper gets back and after the trade deadline, maybe it'll be a little bit deeper. It might take a little pressure off them because we've seen at least I know Eflin and Nola. They're not September guys. I mean, Eflin can't stay healthy. We'll talk more about that. And Nola, we know how his woes in September. So good job now. Hopefully the offense can get back to being consistent.
Yeah, you look back at this team through the first half, and the story was honestly pitching, starting rotation and bullpen. And the offense was good, but the offense was, relatively speaking, a letdown compared to what we thought they'd be. If that offense gets going, it bodes well for our future, and it's just a very interesting team we have here. It's hard to really get a grasp on them sometimes. I mean, we had Bryson Stott, who's coming around. He's picking it up a little bit, but we had him batting 5th in that Toronto series, which is insane to think about where we started, and now we have Bryson Stott batting 5th. I think Bohm got a lot of the starts in the 5 spot against the Marlins. That depth that we thought we had is being tested here in a serious way, and some of the younger guys are being tested in ways that I did not think we would have to test them. And they're doing good. I mean, they're coming around, especially Bryson Stott with the 2 home runs in Toronto.
Yeah, no, I like kind of throwing those guys in the fire and seeing how they respond.
Yeah, seeing what sticks, and those games that they win us are going to be big for their development and everything. But yeah, no, a very interesting weekend, very interesting week. Sunday night, I know we had one of your favorite events. I think we had the draft, the MLB draft, first year player draft, and the Phillies this year they had the 17th pick. It's not the best spot to be picking. To put it bluntly.
You kind of miss out on all the top guys.
Yeah, you miss out on the top tier talent. It's hard to prep for it because, like as we saw this year, Kumar Rocker going 3rd. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, that was not me. I was thinking like 15, 14.
Yeah. I thought he was going to might fall to us. That definitely didn't happen. Jackson Holliday, who I think is going to be very good. He went number 1 overall. I didn't see that coming. I saw Drew Jones being that guy. It's tough. And believe me, I'm a fan. I played fantasy baseball. I understand how hard it is to draft. I've witnessed that firsthand. The stakes are certainly less, but you plan accordingly. And once you get started, everything's out of your hands. There's nothing you can do. Especially in baseball, where I don't think you can trade picks. You just got to wait and see. So fast forward to into this draft. 17th pick comes around. Phillies select Justin Crawford, son of the MLB player Carl Crawford. High school bat, outfielder. Supposed to be a spectacular outfielder. Gold Glove caliber center fielder. That makes a little bit of sense. But for as good as he was rated, there are some concerns that I have. I'll let you go first. How do you feel about this pick? And would it have been your pick at the time?
Justin Crawford, he's a high potential guy, but no, to answer your question, he probably would not have been my pick. I would have probably preferred to see us go with a college bat or a college arm, just because I think it fits our timetable more. But the Phillies have been pretty clear that's not really how they do business. They like finding the high upside guys. And, well, Crawford, the only thing we know right now is that he's a great base runner and he has a great glove. His arm from center field, I don't think it's that incredible. I was looking into it. And his hit tool is like kind of questionable right now. The kid's 6'3" and 180. He's got to fill out a little more if he's ever going to have major league power. But my guy who I wanted the Phillies to go, Chase DeLauder, he went right before us to the Guardians, and I would have loved that pick, but it is what it is. What do you think of Justin Crawford?
Is there a little bit of bias there with Chase DeLauder? A little bit?
Huge. For those who don't know, I'm a JMU alumni, so Chase DeLauder's our first number 1 pick ever, and he's a beast.
First round pick.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
no one really got to watch him play because he broke his foot last season.
Does JMU produce a lot of baseball players, just out of curiosity?
It's getting better. But no, historically not really. Was not a baseball school.
Yeah, I think that's the first player I've ever seen out of JMU. I can't think of anybody, but yeah. Let's go back to Justin Crawford. I agree with you for the most part. It seems for the first time that the scouting department, Brian Barber and co., are completely separated from Dave Dombrowski and the big league team. It feels like they have full autonomy to go wherever they need to go, wherever they think they should go. Because in a perfect world, you look at this Phillies team and they could probably use some college players that are closer to performing. How long do you think it's going to be till Justin Crawford makes his debut? How many years?
4.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, like, it's a very similar type of player that Mickey Moniak was out of high school. Like the same tools that he came with. We knew they were telling. I remember when Mickey got drafted, everyone told us he was going to be a Gold Glove center fielder in the big leagues at the minimum. Yeah, it makes me nervous. I've seen how this team is drafted between 2013 and 2017. I'm a little pessimistic, but got to keep my mind open.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to the tools. The hit tool. They think it's going to be able to develop. I'm sure there's a lot of looking at his dad there. That's big in scouting. You go to the parents. The pedigree's huge here. I think that bodes well for his prospects and his ability to deal with the pressure of being a Major League Baseball player. That's one thing Mickey didn't have. I think this kid's probably a little more prepared for this path that he's about to go on, which is good. But like you said, this is 4 or 5 years down the road. It's not going to solve any problems for us now. This draft would have been a great way to, that instant relief to the upper minors, hopefully helping out the team next year. But, that's not the way they chose to go. And I'm not going to form opinions on him yet because, I trust Brian Barber quite a bit. So we'll see. We'll see with Justin Crawford.
No, at the end of the day, too, we're going to need a team that can compete after 2026, too. I mean, I know as fans we want to see winning now, but the organization, they want to be winning for forever. They want to set themselves up for the next 20, 30 years, not just the short-term future.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Barber deserves the benefit of the doubt. Andrew Painter, Mick Abel, all of these guys are Brian Barber products, and he's on the right path. So that's Justin Crawford. When the pick happened, a couple names I was really hoping for. Drew Gilbert really stuck out. Tennessee center fielder. The guy's close to the majors. Probably is going to be up late next year. Excellent pitch recognition. A little smaller than the prototypical baseball player. I think he's 5'9". But yeah, that's who I was kind of hoping for right off the bat. That didn't work. Cam Collier was still on the board.
Yeah,
I think he was rated 4th overall. I think that might have been a situation. Yeah, I think that might have been a situation where I don't think we scouted him because I didn't think he was going to fall to us, and I just don't think the Phils knew anything about him, so they weren't comfortable taking that risk.
Yeah, must have been it because he was a very talented player available at our spot. But they must
Yeah,
know something that we don't.
yeah, and teams don't draft based on need, so in a vacuum, Cam Collier was better prospect. Same age, he's a better hitter. He's probably more refined than Justin Crawford, and he fell a lot. We probably would have had to pay over slot to sign him, but I mean, who cares? Like, he's the best player on the board. So that kind of frustrated me, especially when he went like right after, and the Reds probably felt like they hit the jackpot. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
they're probably their Reds are probably pretty shocked. Yeah, it was kind of annoying that the two of the players I wanted went before and after us because like those guys were definitely higher on my list than Justin Crawford. I thought Justin Crawford would probably fall to like the mid-20s.
Yeah, I don't know what the goal is with these drafting these super athletes and thinking that you can make a baseball player out of them. It's just, I mean, I shouldn't be saying anything because that's not my job, but just seems like it sounds like a harder task than taking the player who already has like the hit tool, because that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably the most important,
Yeah.
right?
While we're on the topic, I have to point out I think the best player in this draft is that Tamar Johnson that went to the Pirates.
Pirates, yeah.
His
Did you see?
bat is phenomenal.
Did you see the quote that he had where he said he's the best player in the draft?
Did he say that?
Yeah, he full on said that. It was pretty. It was he does not lack confidence.
No.
So
If you watch him, just look him up on YouTube. If any of you want to see a great young hitter, that guy is going to crush baseballs for the Pirates one day.
I wish the Pirates could get their act together because they're onto something. They have some pieces there.
As long as they just stop trading everyone at the deadline.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the draft order, but you think I'm looking for something like confidential because I can't find it anywhere. Like seriously, it's like buried in here. Anyway, yeah, Justin Crawford. Phillies didn't have a second round pick because of Nick Castellanos. Kind of sucks, but that's the deal with signing free agents. Uh, third round pick. I know you're a big fan. Why don't you tell us about him?
Yeah. In the third round, 93rd pick, we took Gabriel Rincones Jr. He's a outfielder for Florida Atlantic University. Took a little bit different route. He was a junior college product for 2 years, where he absolutely mashed the ball, and then he transferred to FAU this year. One newcomer of the Conference USA. The guy, as far as tools go, he just has a knack for hitting the baseball. Incredible raw power that people like any organization would love to tap into, and like a very mature understanding of the strike zone. And like the biggest concerns really were just his speed and arm strength, which are two things that for a guy that projects to be a corner outfielder, I'm not worried about. It's kind of like the same as Schwarber and like Castellanos, like those type of guys, like they don't have a great arm, they don't have great speed, but they hit the ball.
No, he sounds good. Why don't you do me a favor and throw an MLB comp out for him? Kind of give the fans an idea of what you think he can be. Throwing you on the spot there. It's hard coming up with them.
When I looked at the swing, I kind of saw like a Nomar Mazara. He hasn't really panned out to who he thought he was, but he's got a
funny story about Nomar Mazara. I was watching the Padres game the other day. He's batting third for the Padres.
You're kidding me.
What is going on in San Diego where Nomar Mazara is batting third?
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense at all.
No, I was like so confused. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, but continue.
No, but Nomar Mazara, like, I mean, a lefty that spreads the ball with power to every field. You could even throw Juan Soto. I know that's a little crazy, but just if you look at his swing, it's tough to ignore that, just the way he sprays the ball with so much power. But a mix
No,
between those guys.
at one point, Nomar Mazara was a big time prospect. He was a big deal. I think he just has some holes in his swing that he couldn't shore up. But that doesn't mean the talent wasn't there. And if that's what he turns out to be, that prototype of a hitter, that's he could be batting third for the Padres in no time.
Yeah, yeah, because the Padres are a goddamn mess. I hope he runs to the Padres.
You better watch it with the Padres because we might be dealing with the Padres in October with Tatis, Machado, and Juan Soto if they enter their sweepstakes.
I want all the smoke. We'll destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, they got Joe Musgrove out there. He's not the best matchup.
Got Zach Wheeler.
It's true. That's a good point.
Who's their number 2 starter?
Yu Darvish.
I'd take Aaron Nola over Yu Darvish.
Yeah, but you don't like Yu Darvish.
I hate Yu Darvish.
I know you don't like Yu Darvish. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Yu Darvish.
No, he sounds good. Really throwing you on the spot here. Do you have a comp for Justin Crawford?
Honestly, no.
Easy one would just be his dad.
Yeah.
It's late.
Have you watched?
But it's.
Did you watch any of his tape, like hitting?
Yeah, he doesn't appear to hit the ball super hard.
And he's got a very busy swing, like a lot going. Like feels like he's really laboring. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Carl Crawford's a good one. I think Alex Verdugo is a very good one.
Now that I actually thought of a good one, I think maybe Yelich.
Okay, so you're going a little higher ceiling than me.
I'm just talking about swing, right now.
Yeah. Jackie Bradley.
Okay. Yeah, that
defensive first center fielder with some pop. Maybe a better.
No, I think
hopefully
that one makes a little more sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to do that with kids that young, because he's going to change so much in the next 6 years. Might not even be the same player.
He might be still growing. He's 18 years old.
Yeah. That's also why it's tough to make a decision and an impression on a kid that young. There's people getting paid a lot more money to evaluate talent who think he's going to be very good. So I mean, it leads me to believe that maybe the Phillies know something that we really didn't. So yeah, only time will tell. I think he automatically becomes the best hitting prospect in our system. I believe that's what I was seeing. So you're already talking about our third highest rated prospect. He's not going to pass the pitchers, but
yeah, I'm surprised he passed Ohapi.
Yeah, is Ohapi's top 100 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that puts us at 4. I mean, with all these people getting drafted, Ohapi might be pushed out. So that probably puts us back at 3. But no, that's good. I mean, farm's getting better. Brian Barber's doing good stuff. But that was the draft. There's obviously a ton of names that we didn't cover. Just so much
19.
that, yeah, there's a ton that we still need to learn. We'll look into for you guys. And, I mean, once these guys get on the field and start playing, we'll know a lot more. So that's kind of the draft. Let's continue along. Home Run Derby was next. You didn't see it. Schwarber put up a clunker, kind of making me worried that we're going to get a nice cold streak out of Kyle Schwarber coming out of the break. He looked like he forgot to hit home runs, which stinks. Part of me thinks it was rigged because they want Albert to be out there as long as he can, and Schwarber was dealing with some heavy baseballs or something. But yeah, that was kind of lame. Anything to say about that?
It sounded like Albert was better for the TV ratings than I guess Schwarber.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no. I mean, it already seemed weird to again, I love Albert Pujols. He's probably the best player I've seen in my lifetime, but putting him in the All-Star game, sure. But the Home Run Derby, I thought that was weird. He's hit 5 home runs. Let's be real with ourselves.
Yeah, and as a fan, I want to see the best like performance out there possible. And there's plenty of names I could think of that would have probably put on a better show. I guess this is hypocritical because our guy Kyle Schwarber put on a terrible show, but
Fair.
plenty of names. I would have liked to see Byron Buxton in it.
Yeah.
The names go on and on, but yeah, Schwarber lost first round. Soto went on to win. Real quick, we haven't talked about this. Soto rejects $440 million. Real quick, where do you think he's going and when?
San Francisco Giants. They have the money. The prospects could be interesting, but if they attach some young big league talent, I think they can make it happen. And I think it happens before the trade deadline.
It's a lot of work for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Gut reaction.
Cardinals. I think he's going to
Wow.
the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, and I think the Cardinals are going to send back a package, a really competitive package with Dylan Carlson, Matthew Liberatore. They have a good farm, and I think he'd look perfectly right between Goldschmidt and Arenado. I think it's very interesting. If they don't get him, I think the Yankees make a ton of sense. It sucks, but I think I think that might be where he wants to be. He really wants to win, and I think he really feeds off of that competitive atmosphere. I think the Yankees have a chance, and I think he's probably going to get a $500 million contract.
Yeah, now that you said, I like to rule out the Yankees always because the Yankees, I never want to see them winning. Them and the Dodgers, basically. But I guess as far as like me putting my biases aside of where I want him to go, the Yankees, the Giants, and then the Cardinals probably make the most rationale because we've seen the Yankees and the Giants be in on a lot of the free agent stars these past 2 off seasons and not land one. So they're both clearly waiting on a time to strike, and this is the biggest fish that's going to hit the trade market in maybe our lifetime. Juan Soto is really good at baseball.
I'd say. Make me feel a little better and tell me there's no chance he ends up on the Mets.
I can't say that.
Oh, no.
Because I like to think Mike Rizzo and the Nationals are not delusional, but they kind of are. And Steve Cohen would offer Juan Soto so much money.
Wherever he goes, I just hope that we don't have to face him 19 times a year because he kind of crushes us, I feel like. Not this year so much. I think he's kind of checked out this year. In the past, though, he's absolutely obliterated us. And I don't want to face him any more than I have to. So hopefully he goes out to Seattle or something. I also think that they're probably going to try to attach Corbin to him. They might try to attach Strasburg to him. But I don't even think Juan Soto outweighs that terrible Strasburg contract. So I think they might have to throw in, 2 years of $50 million Corbin, who's not good anymore. So you also have to think about the money there.
You remember when we wanted Patrick Corbin on the Phillies? We did.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Deny.
No. Deny. We dodged a bullet there. A bullet no one could have predicted. I didn't see this coming. I don't know. He just lost a couple miles per hour, and he's suddenly a minor league pitcher. But
awful.
Yeah, he might be the next 5 starter on the Yankees if they really want him, because someone's gonna have to take Corbin. We'll see, and it's gonna be really interesting. But let's get back to the Phillies. We're kind of talking about Juan Soto a little too much.
Well, that's important news.
That shook the baseball world. Other Phillies news, Gene's on his way back. I believe Gene's pins are out of his arm. I think he rehabs back now and gains some strength, and we're probably talking, like 3-4 weeks?
I would think 3 weeks is probably where he's at. Last I heard.
3-4 weeks for Gene. Bryce had a schedule. I'm hearing. I don't know if
That's
you're
what
hearing
they're
the same
saying.
stuff, but he wants the pins out next week, and I mean we shouldn't really even be surprised. I mean, he's Bryce Harper. He hates not playing. He was going to do everything he can to get back on the field and perform. I think we probably get him back last week of August.
Yeah, I think maybe a little before isn't crazy to think. But if I'm the Phillies, I do not rush Bryce Harper back and get him hurt before the push. We need a healthy Bryce Harper.
No, agreed with that. Someone who
But
we might not have back for a long time. What were you going to say? You want to throw something in there?
I think you're about to say what I was going to say.
Zach Eflin seems to have a case of the incurable knee ailment. Doesn't seem to go away ever. I feel bad for the guy because you consistently look for answers. He's trying everything. He had surgery. Um, at a certain point, you have to wonder if it's just not happening for his legs, and he's never going to be able to give you 150 innings. And that sucks for him. He's a he's a I think he's an underrated pitcher when he's out there. I've always thought that way about him, and I know you don't feel as highly about him, but it's a shame for him. This is going to be something that's probably going to bother him for the rest of his career, rest of his life probably. Surgery didn't fix it, so I don't really think anything's going to fix it. And as for the staff, it opens up a big hole that we're not really sure how to fix. Um, we don't know if we don't really know enough right now to form an opinion. If it comes out and Eflin's out for next to 8 weeks, season's lost. We have to go find a pitcher somewhere. And even if he's not, if they say he's okay, we should probably still find depth because you can't really trust that with him.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, you're right. I've always been a little more pessimistic about Zach Eflin, and it's not a knock on the guy. I've heard he's like the best guy, great teammate, but it's just this track record with this knee, man. Like it happens a lot. I mean, this knee is an issue, and like I gave it some thought earlier today. Like it's going to keep happening. It seems like so he won't be able to be a starter for the rest of his career. But is he the type of pitcher that could transition to a bullpen role? Because he doesn't really throw like that hard.
Yeah, he doesn't have stuff in his favor.
No, he doesn't have like strikeout type stuff.
He knows how to pitch. He does have some
Yeah.
serious pitchability, and the control is some of the best control I've ever seen out of a pitcher. We don't talk about that very often, but he has impeccable control. I don't know if that's a profile that fits in the bullpen. I don't. I don't really. I don't have a good answer for you there. What do you
Yeah,
think? Do you think he can do that?
I don't think so. I think he's more of like a rhythm, like setting the tempo type of pitcher, and that's works well with how great his control is. If he can keep a good pace and hit all his spots, then like he's tough for like guys to like figure out like during a start. Now I don't think he has even like the
Demeanor.
demeanor to
The
be
demeanor. Yeah.
yeah. I just feel like he's a calm guy that kind of gets better like throughout his start, and I really don't see him being a great reliever. So I think it signals to us we need to get a starter at the deadline. We need it. It's not a want, it's a need.
Yeah, it's a shame. Um, team option this winter. It's going to be the question at the top of the list when Dave Dombrowski's thinking about picking up that $5.5 million option. I think it is. What can we
Yep.
expect out of him? He's probably, even if he gives you 100 innings, he's probably still worth $5.5 million, just because it's league average innings, and pitchers are highly valued nowadays. So yeah, Eflin, he's presenting us with a problem that we're gonna have to face shortly within the next 2 weeks. Rangers back, that's big. Ranger even looked good. I think we can count on him. He doesn't really seem to have any injury concerns, and Gibby. I think Gibby's gonna keep on Gibbying on. He's just going to give you these starts where you're like, wow, this guy's figured it out. And then these starts where, wow, this guy is lost it. And it's frustrating. But that's the staff we have. And, yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to be the main thing Dombrowski's thinking about come 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I think we can kind of push that. The bullpen's more of a secondary need now. Because you can always, if like Eflin were to come back, push him to the bullpen. I mean, you can do things to get guys to deepen your bullpen from like within the organization. But starters, we just need we need a 3. If we want to be in the
JoJo's
playoffs, we
back.
need a 3.
Yeah, did
Yeah,
you
it's
see
good to
JoJo
see
this
JoJo
weekend?
back. Yep.
Yeah, he looked good.
He did.
Yeah, JoJo gives us some depth there. How mad – you probably didn't even notice it, but how mad were you when Appel – it's starting to really bother me how much faith like we have to have in Familia just because we paid him money. Appel's been pitching like really good, and like Familia is still in the bullpen, and it kind of just sucks. You know, I get it. I understand why we do it, but it just kind of sucks, you know?
Yeah.
That's just me venting.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I don't think any Philly fan is thrilled about choosing Familia over Mark Appel. Mark Appel's a fan favorite too, and everyone's kind of rooting for his story. And no one's really rooting for Familia, but he does he does make like $10 million a year, and he does throw a 96-mile-per-hour sinker, which at the end of the day can be pretty useful.
Yeah. More of the story there was we do have some depth now in the bullpen, so it's nice to see. But yeah, anyway, getting towards that 40-minute mark. You have any key points you want to leave us on here? Anything we missed that you think we need to cover?
No, I think the Phillies they're keeping their head above water. We're not fully healthy to even be playing this well without Gene Segura and Bryce Harper. I couldn't ask for much more at this point in the season.
Well said, and I would agree. And yeah, let me just take this moment to remind you guys that we here at the Double Switch Podcast, as well as all of Pick Swap Media, are excited to announce our partnership with the SportDisplays.com. Sport Displays are the creators of their unique product, the Jersey Mount, which can be installed to any surface and is significantly cheaper than the hundreds of dollars it usually costs for this type of quality display. Check out the link in the description and make sure to use promo code PICKSWAP at checkout for 10% off and free shipping. So that's cool. Give us a look there. And yeah, as I just said, we have partnered with PickSwap Media Group. As you guys have probably heard me say this a couple times now, but yeah, those guys are awesome. Give their stuff a watch on YouTube. They make great content. Sixers, Eagles, all kinds of Philly sports stuff. So if you're a big Phillies fan, you know, you probably follow those teams too. So it might be relevant to you. And give them the follow on Twitter, Insta, TikTok. Give us a follow as well. We're getting a little more involved on all those socials. So yeah, just trying to produce as much content as we can for you guys. And thank you all for listening. That should do it for this episode, and we will talk to you guys soon.
All right, everyone. Stay safe and stay cool. Go Phils.